tenths ahead of the others.
There's Verstappen to the top of the screen.
Yeah, it was good initially.
Listen, guys, what you are about to see is genuinely one of the most insane debut performances I have ever watched in motorsport. A Formula One world champion walks into the most dangerous and unpredictable race on the planet and just starts absolutely dismantling the competition from the moment he gets in the car. We are talking daring overtakes in the wet, nearly losing it into the wall on his very first lap, and somehow finding himself leading the Nürburgring 24 on his debut.
Yeah, we had a little moment. I think I turned in a bit too early. But that was fine. You just have to keep yourself together, stay calm, and just focus again.
Hold on, because this story has everything, and I promise you, by the end of this video, your jaw is going to be on the floor. Now, before Max even got anywhere near that steering wheel, the race was already delivering drama in bucket loads. Danny Juncadella was the man chosen to take the race start for the number 3 Mercedes, and within the very first corners of the opening lap, things were already going sideways. The Mercedes made contact with a Lamborghini, and that contact caused a puncture which in any other situation would have been a disaster. But somehow, against all logic, Juncadella came through the chaos and found himself up in second place after just the first lap. That is the Nürburgring doing what it does best: absolute unpredictable madness from the very first moment. However, that second place didn't stick around for long, because on the very next lap, navigating through a dense pack of traffic, Juncadella dropped 2 positions and fell back to 4th. He then fought his way back to 3rd and was holding that position comfortably until lap 7, when the team looked at the timing screens, looked at each other, and made the call. It was time to bring Juncadella in and hand the car over to the man everyone had been waiting for. Hold on, because right here is where this whole story changes completely. When Max Verstappen strapped himself into that Mercedes and came out of the pit lane, the team was sitting in 10th place. 10th. Not exactly the fairy tale start you would dream of for a duh, but at the green hell. But if you know anything about Verstappen, you already know that 10th place just means he has more people to pass, and that is exactly what he loves. Now, on his very first flying lap, something happened that made everyone watching genuinely hold their breath. Max got loose over a bump on the circuit, the rear of the car stepped out, and for a split second it looked like he was going straight into the barrier. The crowd gasped, the commentary box went quiet, and then somehow, with the kind of car control that only a handful of drivers on this planet have, he caught it, straightened it up, and kept going without losing a single position. And from that exact moment, you could just feel that something special was brewing. Now, this chapter is the one that had everybody talking, and honestly, it deserves every bit of attention it gets. Verstappen began his overtaking masterclass, and he was absolutely ruthless about it. Lap 9 and the number 26 Mercedes was the first victim as Max muscled his way past to move up into 9th place. Then, on lap 10, the number 7 Lamborghini found out the hard way that Verstappen was in no mood to follow anyone around this circuit, and that move put him into 8th. Lap 12 and the BMW was next on the list as Max found a clean way through to grab 7th place. But then came lap 13, and this is the move that genuinely made me rewind the footage just to watch it again. Verstappen threw the Mercedes around the outside of another car at full throttle, ran 2 wheels onto the grass in the process, and somehow made it stick to secure a net 3rd place for the team. The crowd absolutely erupted, and honestly, can you blame them? That kind of overtake at the Nürburgring takes a level of bravery that very few drivers possess, and Max made it look completely routine. Just when you thought things were settling into a rhythm, the Nürburgring decided to remind everyone who is actually in charge around here. Light rain began to fall across parts of the circuit, and as always with this track, conditions became completely different depending on where you were on the lap. Some sections were bone dry and sunny, while others were slippery and treacherous. Most drivers naturally backed off when the rain came, but Verstappen did the complete opposite. On lap 16, he pulled off a brilliantly timed move by catching the BMW completely flat-footed the moment a caution zone turned green for racing again. Then on lap 17, he went full send on the Manthe Porsche, diving down into turn 1 in the wet conditions to claim 3rd place. The man was using the rain as an advantage while everyone else was treating it as a threat, and that mindset difference right there is what separates the very best from TH. Rest. And now we get to the moment that stopped everything. lap 19, and Verstappen was sitting in third place when he spotted his opportunity at the end of the Döttinger Höhe straight. In one breathtaking move, he passed both the Ford Mustang and the Aston Martin together, and just like that, Max Verstappen was leading the Nürburgring 24 Hours for the very first time in his career. On his debut, in his first ever stint, leading the most iconic and brutal endurance race in the world. He then began to pull away from the field, and for a good stretch of time, everything looked absolutely perfect for the number 3 Mercedes team as the gap to second place started growing lap after lap. But as any Nürburgring veteran will tell you, this race never stays comfortable for long, and Hour 5 was proof of exactly that. Kevin Estre, who was one of the genuine title contenders coming into this race, spun his Porsche 911 and was done for the day right there on the spot. Then in a bizarre twist, Arjun Maini spun the Ford Mustang in almost the exact same location shortly after. The circuit was claiming big names left and right. Earlier in the race, Thierry Vermeulen had already crashed the Ferrari out of contention, and the number 16 Audi had picked up serious damage in the changing conditions before eventually being forced to retire altogether. The Nürburgring was ruthless as always. But through all of this chaos, Verstappen kept his head completely calm and kept pushing. He ended his stint on lap 22, handing a perfectly maintained car over to Jules Gounon, with a commanding lead of 25 seconds built up from scratch during his time behind the wheel. So here is where things stand after the first 8 hours of the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Juncadella handled a chaotic opening stint brilliantly despite the early contact and held the car together just long enough for Max to work his magic. Verstappen then delivered an absolutely stunning debut performance that included aggressive overtakes in the dry, full commitment moves in the wet, leading the race and handing over a 25-second gap to his teammate. Honestly, in my personal opinion, what we witnessed today was Max Verstappen proving beyond any doubt that his talent is not limited to Formula One circuits. The green hell threw everything at him, and he just kept going faster. But here is the question I want to leave you with. With darkness now falling over the Nürburgring, rain still threatening, and 16 hours of racing still to go, can the number 3 Mercedes team actually hold on and convert this into a win? Or is the green hell going to find a way to take it all away? Drop your prediction down in the comments right now, and I will. I see you in the full race recap very soon.